Okay, so Ohm's law is a relationship for materials, and materials either have an ohmic behavior or not. And so for the most part, our materials are going to have an ohmic behavior. But Ohm's law essentially says that the current that flows through material is directly proportional to the voltage across the material. And the resistance the material provides. And, well, I'll say, and inversely proportional. So if we were to kind of write this out as an equation, it's saying that the current, we already know that that symbol is an I, is equal to the amount of voltage supplied to the material. That's directly, and then inversely would be divided by R. Okay? So this is the equation for Ohm's law. Current is directly dependent on voltage, inversely dependent on resistance. And oftentimes, though, it's written as a linear equation, as V is equal to IR. You'll see a lot of textbooks put it like that. I like having it in this version because you're seeing that it's the current that is dependent on these two things. Like the voltage is not dependent on the current in this case. The way this is showing it, it makes it seem like the voltage is dependent on the current, and that's not true. The voltage is dependent on the power supply, it's dependent on the electrical and chemical potential in a system, etc. And it also makes it seem like the voltage is dependent on the resistance. And that's not true. Like we know innately that the resistance depends on the resistivity of the material. So this is the more true form of the equation. And if it is a material that has an ohmic behavior, this is going to be a constant relationship. And so you would have a voltage resistance graph, and you could see that the slope of it would be equal to the current. Okay. And so that oftentimes is something that we would mathematically compute or experimentally compute. We'd measure the voltage and the resistance, and we could look at the slope of it being current, or you could look at measuring voltage, measuring current, and then the slope of it being resistance. So now we're going to move into looking at just some examples of Ohm's law. It's a pretty straightforward equation. These are meant to be some examples of the idea of resistivity and of Ohm's law. So this first example, you've got these three cylindrical copper conductors, and they have the same voltage across them. Rank them according to the current that runs through them. And so we know that current is dependent on voltage and resistance. And so if the voltage is the same, then it really comes down to the amount of resistance that each one is experiencing. So if we consider this to be like material 1, 2, and 3, and we think about our equation for resistance. Resistance is equal to the resistivity of the material times the length divided by the area. So for material 1, that is just going to shake out to just be rho length over A. For material 2, it is going to have the same density because it's still copper. Or it's not density, same resistivity. But it is, 3/2 L. It didn't print out as nicely, and it's 1/2 the area, which shakes out to be 3/4. And then if I look at material 3, same resistivity, 1/2 the length and 1/2 the area, so it just shakes out to be resistivity length over area. So that means that there is 3/4 the resistance in material 2 than there is in materials 1 and 3. So I2 would be the biggest, and then that I1 and I3 would be equal to each other. Okay? Okay, let's look at more of a mathematical example. It says a 1.5 meter insulated extension cord is used to connect a lamp to an outlet. If the copper wire has a diameter of 2.3 millimeters, be careful with that, and a resistivity of 1.7 times 10 negative 8 ohm meters. What is resistance of the wire? So again, the equation for resistivity is the equation for resistance is resistivity times the length divided by the area. And so that would be 1.7 times 10 to the negative 8. The length is 1.5 divided by 2.3 times 10 to the negative 3. Again, I would pause the video, calculate this, but I'm not there to watch you do it. But I would try to do this on your own. Oh, I did this horrible. This isn't right. What am I thinking? This is a diameter. I can't plug that straight in. I got to figure out the area. So the area is going to be pi r squared. Goofy. So this will be pi times 2.3 times 10 to the negative 3 divided by 2 squared. Whew. Now pause the video and plug that in. And hopefully you get a value of 6.1 times 10 to the negative 3 ohms. So it's a really small value. And 1.5 meters is a pretty long cord. So it just goes to show you that wires don't have a whole lot of resistance. So when you're thinking about experimental errors and, oh, there must be voltage lost to the wire, there is a minimal amount of energy lost to the wires in a circuit. Okay, so then the last set we're going to do is just kind of practicing Ohm's law, estimate the resistance of these household items, assuming a standard outlet voltage of 120. So again, I is equal to V over R, and in this case, all of our voltages are 120, and we're figuring out the resistance of these things. So just plug in. You've got your 18 amps, what's the resistance? 0.35 amps, what's the resistance? 0.4 amps, what's the resistance? And I am going to put in no particular order these values, and hopefully these are the answers that you got, and you've got them associated with the correct item over here. Okay, so show your work, but these are the answers you'll get.